Hello, wisdomers. I hope you're having a wondrous day on this new day on this earth. And today just happens to be March 15th, Tuesday. What? Right now it is 7:04 p.m. Pacific time. Daylight savings be doing stuff when we jump forward ahead of time. I still don't understand that part. But that is not what this talk is about, and I'm not going to derail from the start. Today, I wanted to do something that I did, I believe it was this past week, and I wanted to go over Proverbs. This time, Proverbs 3, because wisdom always wins. It's just something that happens. And in Proverbs 3, this is in the Bible. This is said to be from King Solomon, who had it all in regards to material things, but he never found what he was really looking for. Because he said it wasn't in the material things that you do get true wisdom from. And the love of wisdom is really, for me, taking his words and spinning it my own way, the love of self. So I'm going to read to you the first beginning of the chapter. We're first going to start with the section called The Rewards of Wisdom. This is the Passion Translation, and it starts, "My child, if you truly want a long life and satisfying life, never forget the things I've taught you. Follow closely every truth that I've given you. Then you will have a full and rewarding life." Now I'm going to pause. I'm pausing for the cause to bring Lois Hampson up so she can help me do this interpretation. So we can talk about it from two different sides of the exact same coin and the ways that we have seen this play out.
Okay. Okay. You're on Proverbs 3.
Proverbs 3, I just read verses 1 to 2.
Okay. All right. And what version are you reading out of?
TBT, the Passion Translation.
Okay. And I have the Amplified version, the Amplified translation.
Okay.
And you said 1 and 2. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't hear your version, but I'm gonna go ahead and read my version. It says, "My son, do not forget my teaching, but let your heart keep my commandments, for the length of days and years of life worth living, and tranquility and prosperity, the wholeness of life's blessings, they will be added to you." That sounds like what you just read.
Yeah, mine's a little different. It says, "My child, if you truly want a long and satisfying life, never forget the things I've taught you. Follow closely every truth I've given you. Then you will have a full, rewarding life."
Okay. Again, this is saying the same thing in different ways. So how's this played out for us, for you?
I will say the things that you personally have taught me. So if I'm thinking about it from a parent to a child, it would be you taught me to do research, development, and then execute and talk about. You don't have to necessarily talk about it in your research mode because you don't want to get set in your ways. You want to understand it from different points of the coin. And then you want to develop that thought. You want to test it out. You want to see how it actually interacts well with others and yourself. And then whatever you see that is the things that you more want to focus on, then you start with the execution of those things. It's like doing pros and cons. And because I have followed this, this has led me into no matter no matter what happens to me, I know I'm gonna completely be okay. I'm always gonna be resting in love. And that's something that you taught me, and that for me has given me, you gave me the truth so I can go back to the truth, because in the Bible it talks about build a child up in the way they should go so they should never depart. And you built me up and you nurtured me in a way that was conducive to me, and I can always go back to that part of myself because she's not a scary person. She's a really awesome person. And I have to talk about it in a third person point of view, but sometimes I have to so I can identify some things like emotions and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, that was really good. All righty, Charenté. Yeah, but basically, when the Bible teaches you different things, like we were reading in Proverbs 2 a couple of days ago, and they were talking about, well, one talks about a fool despising knowledge, right?
Yep,
That's the one that you used to love to read. It was Proverbs
I
chapter 1,
really did.
because you realize that you were, wait, I almost said, but based on your word, you were a fool
Yeah, and I
because
kept
you didn't want
tripping.
nobody telling you nothing. Yeah, and that's where you said it. I'm not. I didn't call you no fool. I never said that. I just told you to read Proverbs, and you
Oh
came back
yeah.
and told me that you were a damn fool. Okay, and I'm like,
Hey,
huh?
fools are
What do you
damned
mean?
to hell, and hell is just a state of mind of guilt, shame, depression, anger, hurt, all of those things. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
be stuck sometimes, and it happened. And I'm glad I'm learning from it though.
And to me, and first verse, it says, "Keep my commandments, keep my teachings. Don't forget my teachings." And the thing is, the Bible teaches us above all else. The main teaching that Jesus came was to love thy God with all your heart, mind, and soul and strength. This dog is on me. Uh, well, soul and strength, and love your neighbors as yourself. Those that was the most important of all the commandments and things He told you to do, and from that stems everything else. And if you loving God, and that's a part of you. He's a part of every single cell in your body. God is. He's in everything. He's in this dresser. He's in this TV. He's in this dog that be all over me when I start talking spiritual, because she loves the energy. He's in everything. And when you remember that, you can have peace about things, because you know you're never all alone. Okay. And you told me wealth is health. You told that to somebody earlier today, I think I heard you say, or on your podcast that you did with interview you did with somebody. You said you did the history of the word wealth, and it comes from health.
Well, health. W E
Well,
L
health.
L space health. Yes.
Okay. So I thought that was very, very nice. But it's basically saying, if you can remember that, to do this loving like you're supposed to do, loving yourself, loving God, and loving your neighbor, tranquil, you'll have peace, you'll have prosperity, all the wholeness of life's blessings. That's what it says. The wholeness of life's blessings will be added to you. And now that you've been on this self-love journey, has anything been kept from you?
Not a nothing. Even things that I was like, I didn't really ask for, but it happened kind of thing. Like that pay raise I got was out of nowhere. I didn't
Okay.
wasn't praying for a pay raise, but then it was surprisingly told to me, and I was like, "What? That's so cool!" And because I decided to let go when promotion happens or when money comes in and saying it has to come this way, no, I'm just gonna be, and I'm gonna be
Right.
me. And during
And
my
for
being, I got rewards.
There it is. And then for me, keeping that love for myself, love for others, and love for God, keeping that, it is 3 times from death, from actual death. Okay. So because I loved life, I loved my kids, I loved what I was doing, and I didn't feel like I was finished. So I had a chance to come back each time I died. So my thing is, what this is saying, this is truth. You know, when you don't forget His teaching that you're supposed to love God, love yourself, and love others. That's the main part, because Jesus said He didn't come to do away with the law, because the other version says, keep my laws. Okay. And the laws of God are the 12 universal laws that command this whole universe. It's not just, oh, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. all of that crap stems from you loving yourself. Because if you love yourself and love another person as yourself, knowing that God lives in you, you're not going to want to kill nobody. You're not going to want to steal from nobody. You're not going to want to sleep with nobody else's husband or wife. You're not going to want to covet. You're not going to want to be jealous. You're not going to want to be envious, because you recognize you don't have to be any of that, because it's enough for everybody. And what God has for you is for you. So everything stems from that love, love, love. Love you God, love you, love others.
And
So,
then I
and
will
that,
say this, because this
okay.
is one part that you accidentally forgot on the commandments. And you don't need to put other people before you. Do
Oh,
not put
okay.
any other idols before me.
Okay. So, and then, and knowing that we are the vessels that God chooses to use, every human being, God chooses to use us as vessels to show his love. Now, whether we showing it or not, that's on us. We can choose not to. We can choose to stay in our suffering because it's comfortable, or we can choose to step out of this suffering and have some compassion and to begin the self-love journey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love it. Okay, so I will go on to, you want to go on to verse 3?
Okay,
And
I'll
then
read it
I
from
will go
this
on to verse
version.
4.
Okay, I'll read it from this version and you read it from that one. Okay, do not let mercy and kindness and truth leave you. Instead, let these be qualities that define you. Bind them securely around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart.
Oh, I got wrapped up in that power. My apologies.
You're so
Mine
silly
says,
sometimes.
hold on to loyal love and don't let go, and be faithful to all that you've been taught. Let your life be shaped by integrity with truth written upon your heart.
And that I like how yours says it so succinctly and so plain English. I wonder what the good news says, because all these different Bible versions, because the Bible has been translated so many times, it's lost a lot in translation, but the essence is still there. Okay,
Oh,
but
yeah.
excuse me, but basically, if you're walking in the love that love that we talked about, the teachings of the first one, the commandments, that love of God, love of yourself, and love of others, and you are merciful to people, so you know that people make mistakes, you make mistakes, and you have mercy on yourself, and have oh my god, I can't think of the word, grace. Have grace for yourself, and you show kindness, and you tell the truth, and just be who you are and not deny who you are or try to hide who you are, knowing that everybody makes mistakes. Okay, uh, then and then you bind them around you, that truth, and write them on your heart. You can't help but for your light to shine and be bright, and for you to be able to touch everybody and have high esteem for yourself and for others and all that kind of stuff, because you're walking in your authenticity, and that's what it's telling you to do, to walk. And if this was say, do not leave mercy, kindness, and truth leave behind, instead let these qualities define you. Walk in the authenticity of who you are, forgiving, kind, truth, because that's what love is. That's what love is. Love is merciful. Love is kind. Love is truth. Love doesn't get jealous. Love is not boastful. Love is not proud. And you walk in this wholeness of love, man, and you put it around your heart, you can't help but get, and then that's the next verse. So find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man. You're gonna find favor in God, in God's sight and man's sight, because you're being authentic to who you are. So these verses are basically saying, know that you love yourself, know that you love God and you love other people. And as you do this, everything, the prosperity, the peace, the kindness, the mercy, the grace, all of these stem from that, and they become who you are. They define who you are. So when people see you coming and say, oh, there's grace coming. Oh, there's love coming. Oh, there's peace coming. Oh, here comes Charenté. She gonna bring the heat. Here comes so I say that because somebody had just said something when they introduced me, and I was like, "Oh, don't put all that on there." But then when I thought about it, I'm coming in love and kindness and peace and mercy and tranquility. So yes, I guess I am doing with that. Here she come bringing the heat, because that is the heat. That's the heat that lights the fire, that helps people burn away all the bullshit that got them trapped. That love, only love can do that. Love drives out hate. Love drives out fear. Love drives out lack. Love drives out all that. And it stems from loving God, loving you, and loving others.
I'm just listening to the bars. I'm sorry. I was like, I was in the
Also,
audience for a
I got a
second.
little carried away. Got a little carried
There's
away
no
there.
getting carried
I
away. It's
know.
good
Well, I can't.
information.
Well,
And I appreciate it because we're both supposed to be sharing both our sides of our stuff. Guys, we're learning this like live right now as we're talking. You gotta love it, right? Being authentic with ourselves. So no,
okay.
because last time I explained myself and this time you explained yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because the thing is that when you're loyal to love and don't let that go, you're holding the keys to the kingdom, for the fact that with love all things are possible. With love you are strong. With love you have insight, and your intellect is there. You're brave. You being brave is there. You being kind is there. You being gentle is there. So you don't let love go. You don't open your hand and just say, oh, I'm gonna openly give it and not keep any for yourself. You don't do that. And the reason why you don't do that is because when you start doing that, you start allowing your boundaries to open up to a point where you can't even feel like you're surviving, because you have now went completely out of your love zone, and you accidentally went into one of the laws that is now blocking your flow in regards to how you quote unquote receive love, not realizing you stepped out of yourself and you got to step back into yourself.
Amen. Amen. Excuse me. I'm like let me reset the room. To reset the room, what me and my daughter are doing, when she was 14, and I had to homeschool her because she was ill and that she was not doing so hot. I told her part of my homeschooling, my lessons was that she had to read Psalms and Proverbs. And when she would read them, we would sit like this and we'd study them. Now that she has grown to 27 and I'm 60 now. This is quite a few years later. In the light of the new knowledge that we are energy, love, light beings, and now reading the Bible verses from that new perspective, it brings a whole new light to what is being said in the now, not yesterday, but in the now, and how we could use this knowledge that's in Proverbs, that's in Psalms, that's in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Ezekiel, Isaiah, all the Bible verses, how we can go and read them again in a new light of this new conscious state. And you hear, and when I notice, I'm hearing a whole lot more. And then I'm listening to how we actually lived it. It's like the Tao. You live the Tao. The Tao is the spirit of God that's within you. It's like the spirit of God. And the thing is, when you look at it through new lenses, some of the stuff sounds the same. Other stuff is magnified. Some of the stuff says, "Oh my goodness, I misread that altogether." So that's what we're doing now. So you want to go start with the fifth verse now, Sharente?
Yes, so for me,
Okay.
the section is called Wisdom's Guidance. Trust the Lord completely and do not rely on your own opinions. With all of your heart, rely on Him to guide you, and He will lead you in every decision you make.
Okay.
I will
Wow.
say, for me, this is what this means to me in my new eyes and in my new opening of my eyes, like I'm a baby all over again. Is that when I was first a baby, I had to trust in something for me to be living, which is why I also was yelling, saying, "I need my needs met. I need my needs met," and all it was wham. That's all you heard. But for me, that's what I was saying. And when I had to trust in you completely, as you were the outside entity that had to help me to nourish me for me to be here. And now, as an adult, it says trust in the Lord completely. For me, now that means to trust my intuition, not the first loud voice I hear, but the still, quiet voice that gently nudges me, saying, you should eat that. You should do that. And my thing is also when it comes to when I have a question that I don't know yes or no to, I sit for a moment and I meditate for a second, and I have a conversation with self, and I say self, and I have a full on conversation. And it will lead me into either doing some research, making some phone calls, and talking to my wise counsel on the outside of me, or for me to automatically get the answer. It's a hodgepodge of all of them. But for me, I listen to that, and every decision that I've made has been with love, and by it being with love, even though sometimes it was hard to choose love, um, I I've been better for it. For the fact that my heart is still clean and clear, for the fact that I can truly say I love everyone to infinity and beyond, and truly mean it. It doesn't matter what you've done; you were in your best thinking at the time. And I understand that sometimes my best thinking, your best thinking, are going to look different. I can't judge that because I don't know your past. I only know a little perception of you based off the current thing that I'm experiencing.
Okay, that was really good. And mine reads, trust in and rely confidently on the Lord with all your heart. And do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge and recognize Him, and He will make your path straight and smooth, removing all obstacles that block your way. Okay, I like your version, your interpretation, your whatever it is version of the Bible.
I got you.
The Passion version. I like how it says that. But for me, when it says acknowledge God in all my no, trust in the Lord with all my heart. My heart, the hard part of me is the part where, according to the Bible again, or all the issues come from, where it's where the good and the bad and the up and the down and all that stuff is in there. And when I trust in my own understanding of how I see that stuff, I would say I was abused and these people need to get in trouble and they need to get a whooping. I was a kid, okay, when I was abused. So those were my thoughts. And I thought all like that. But as I grew up and I got more insight and more understanding and more whatever, I recognized that me trusting God is trusting that everything that happens for a reason. Knowing that everything that I go through has something good in it. Whether I caused it to happen to me or whether it just happened organically, it's something good in that, because in everything there's something good. There's not nothing on this face of this earth that there's not a good part of, because we're in a didactic world: good, bad, up, down, sideways, left, right, north, south, east, west, and it's always dichotomous. So if we experience something on the bad end, then there's always going to be a good end. And I think that when we trust our gut to know that everything's going to work out for our good, we can acknowledge Him in all ways. Like for me, when I was on my healing journey, I had to, I won't say when I was, I'm always on a healing journey. While on my healing journey, I actually have to consult God in everything that I eat. Okay, should I have this? What should I have for breakfast? Sometimes he'll say have my dinner for breakfast. Other times he'll say have something like some vegetables for breakfast. But whatever it is what my body needs at the time. And that's trusting my heart. That's trusting my gut. That's trusting the Lord, because the Lord is in my gut. He is my intuition. He is my higher power. He is my inner knowing, my understanding, as some people say, the Tao that's within. He is all that. If you can name him, if you can put a face in him, that's not God, because God cannot be measured. He cannot be named, and you cannot see him as a male or you cannot see him as a female, because he's a pure love energy. And when you recognize that and that's who you are, you recognize that things always work out for you. There is not one hard time that you didn't overcome because you're sitting here listening to this app right now. There's not one bad space that you didn't survive because you're here right now. And if you look in that doo doo, and I'm gonna say that doo doo, that shit that you think you just went through, there's always going to be a diamond in there. There's going to be a diamond, some gold, some pearls, some something, because there's a lesson to every experience that we go through, and we look at them as experiences, and we know there's a lesson to learn. When it comes, we can say, okay, this is an experience. I don't like this. What do I need to learn so I can get out of it? and then he'll direct your path on out, and ain't gonna be no obstacles in your way getting out. But if you get in this experience and you don't realize that it works out for your good, then you get fearful, you get depressed, you get anxious, you get I'm gonna say you get bitchy, you get whiny, you throw tantrums, you get I mean, the sky's the limit. But when you know that everything works out for your good, you can trust that what you see, even though it may appear negative, is gonna work for your best. And then that what you think that roadblocker was that was in your way, it wasn't a roadblock. And the next scripture goes on to say, do not be wise in your own eyes. Don't think you know everything. Because I know this. All that I know, I don't know a damn thing because there's so many things that I don't know. Okay. I can look on this bed where I'm sitting with my notebooks and my food tray and my stuff so I don't get my sheets dirty. And I don't know how this remote control is made, how they make this thing light up when I touch it and move my head up and down, or my feet up and down on my bed, or turn on the massage. I don't know how this works. Hell, I don't know how to grow a plant that I'm smoking. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need to know all that stuff. But the thing is recognizing that you do not know that, so that your mind can be open. You can't be wise in your own eyes. The minute you think you know, you've cut out all the other possibilities, all other things you can learn. And that's shortchanging yourself. And that's just shortchanging yourself. And I don't believe in shortchanging me. I did before because I thought that I had to give myself away. That was a song of spirit, a Bible song. I mean, a Christian song that I had to give myself away. The God didn't mean it like that. I
I
wasn't supposed to
already
give
got
up who
you.
I was. You know the song I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, what was it? Oh my God. I have two songs in my head right now. I give myself away so
Yes.
you can love me. I
You
give
so you can use me.
myself
So okay,
away.
that's the one. The
There's a
whole
lot of
thing
them.
is, but you're not supposed to give yourself away. You're just supposed to allow yourself to be used. There's a big difference in giving yourself away and allowing use. Okay. But if you're wise in your own eyes, you think you got to give yourself away. You think you have a cross to bear like my butt. I thought I wanted to be like Jesus. So I thought I had a cross to bear. So I walked around thinking I had to suffer all the time. And guess what? I suffered all the damn time. So I learned that was not my cross to bear. That was his. Okay. I had my own shit I had to go through. I didn't have to take his upon me like that. So anyway, I digress, but go ahead and read your 7 and 8.
Oh, I wanted to sing a song before that because you know I'm extra and I love you, Mama.
Oh Lord
But when
Jesus.
you were talking about going down the lane, this is the song that popped in my head. This old town can slow you down, people taking the easy way. But I know exactly where I'm going. I'm getting closer and closer every day, and I'm almost there. I'm almost there. People down here think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Trial and
What song is
tribulations,
this,
I've
Charente?
had my share. This is Princess and the Frog.
From what?
Princess and
So,
the Frog.
Tokyo
This is
trying
a
to figure out what the
Disney.
hell going on too. From who?
This is a Disney movie, Mom. Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So, uh,
Yeah. It's also another song called "Dig a Little Deeper to
okay,
Find
I
Out
can't
Who
hear
You
you because
Are."
the dog is barking.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
Tokyo. It's fine. She's living her best life.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
let's go to the next one.
Okay, because she out going outside now. Okay, so you said from seven. So I'll read seven for me and then eight.
Okay.
So mine says, don't think for a moment that you know it all. For wisdom comes when you adore him with undivided devotion and avoid everything that's wrong. Then you will find the healing refreshment your body and spirit long for.
Wow. Okay, mine says, "Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord with reverence, awe, and obedience, and turn entirely away from evil. It will be health to your body, your marrow, your nerves, your sinews and muscles, all your inner path, and refreshment, physical well-being to your bones. Okay, so let me hear you.
Question for you. What translation are you in?
This is the amplified version.
Okay, because I totally put that wrong on the Wisdom Talk. I thought it was NLV because I went to that version on my app because I can go on two versions. I said, well, now what's she reading, Jesus? Because I don't know.
Okay, no, this
Um,
it's the amplified version.
okay, I got it. So my thing for this is when you allow your ego to think it's hot stuff and that you're the end all be all, the bees, knees, and all the trees, okay? And you only think about your understanding and not realizing that sometimes two minds are better than one, and that because it's working in this way doesn't mean that it can work in other ways too. And I say thinking highly of yourself more than you ought to in this case, without trying to seek any other things that could possibly help you or reduce your cost for whatever it is that you're doing your endeavor. So don't be wise in your own eyes. And then it says to fear the Lord with reverent awe and obedience and turn entirely from evil. Or my version would say, give them undivided devotion and attention and avoid everything that's wrong. So it's literally for me talking about here is staying positive. You don't need to go into the fear. You don't need to go into the guilt. You don't need to go into any of these things. And as you said, you don't need to suffer. You don't need to suffer and turn your attentions only on to the love, only on to the enlightenment, only on to the joy, only on to the peace, only on to the hope and gentleness, and refocus your mind on the fruits of the Spirit. There's, I think, 13 of those, but focus on that and the kindness that surrounds us. And when you do that, then that provides you the healing that your body has been asking for because now you're no longer in hell, you're on your way to heaven, and then you're resting in heaven. And heaven, that's where all the healing is because spirit doesn't get sick.
Amen. And it's a state of mind. It's a state of mind. And when I look at the word evil, it spells live backwards. So basically, when I say oh, you're being evil, I never told nobody that because I don't speak like that. But when people say, well, I'm not supposed to commit evil, and I said, well, the thing is, we can all live backwards every now and then because we gonna make our mistakes. Just like we shooting a movie, they may take one, scene two of such and such and such, take two, scene three, take three, scene three, take four, scene three. They may have to take a whole bunch of takes on the thing one. Those are all mistakes. Finally, they get a take and they say that's a wrap. So we're going to keep doing these mistakes or living backwards until we get it right, and then we're able to live forwards. And that to me, that's to be out of the evil part. Okay, and when you live forwards, when you're walking knowing that God is your safety, is your refuge, He is your defense, He's in you, He's protecting you, He's giving angels around you, and you are all and you can able to be who you are. That goes back up there to the top where you'll be able to be authentically who you are. Then all of a sudden you start seeing you'll go through the dark night of the soul where you'll go through a come to Jesus moment. I call them come to Jesus moment. I've had so many come to Jesus moments in my life where you're down and you're so far down that there ain't nowhere else but you to look but up. Okay. And then you say, okay, God, I need some more help because I thought I had this. Okay. And that's about being wise in your own eyes, thinking you got this. That what you call it? Oh my God, it's the thinking that you do that's not necessarily healthy for you. Thinking more highly of yourself than you ought, and all that kind of stuff. Thinking you know it all, thinking you know this and you know that. And the thing is that when I thought I knew everything, I found that again. I found that all I knew nothing because when they said about my body, I didn't even know what made up my body. I didn't know what the hell marrow was. Now I knew what nerves and sinews. No, I knew what nerves and muscles and stuff like that, basic stuff. I didn't know about no sinews and synapses and marrow and neurons and electrons and synthesis and all the firing that goes on in the brain and epigenetics and spiritual baths and all of that stuff. All of that stuff when your mind is open, God will show you different things that will help heal your body. And he may use a mixture of medical science, with physical science, with astrology, with astronomy, with biology, with whatever. And it brings health to all your inner parts, your muscles, your nerves, your emotions, your everything. And the thing is, your spirit is always well. Your spirit is always healthy. All we got, what we're trying to do when we're tapping in, is tapping into the healthy spirit and letting that spark of that healthy spirit light the whole flame of our body. So we're this big ball of light, because that part of us that contains our life is always there, sitting there, giving us free will to choose it or not choose it. And when we choose it, and we're not wise in our own eyes, or think that we know it all, I think that our religion, and I would say religion, that's Christianity, that's Buddhism, that's Taoism, that's whatever your religion is, okay? It's thinking that your religion is the only way, your religion is the only thing, your religion, that is a very narrow-minded approach to when God tells us to study to show thyself approved. He didn't say study something specific. He said words. And our words are strength or death, because our words have energy, and our words put the energy in motion. And if we wrap an emotion around our words, we get to have that which we described the way we described it. Okay, so we don't, and if we don't know this stuff, we're constantly having manifestations of some bullshit that we done made up, because we got some old tapes playing that say we're unworthy of love, we're unworthy of this, yet we're saying I love me, I love me, but the inside of you is saying no you don't, no you don't, no you don't, because you don't feel worthy. So you're walking around here on the inside not feeling worthy, but on the outside saying, yes, I am. But they said a double-minded man shall think he should get nothing. So you have to not be wise in your own eyes. You got to see what is real. What is real? And then the thing is, if you're listening to that still small voice, or your gut, or your understanding, or your intuition, or the God within, or your inner light, or the universe within, that's the part of you that tells you what's good, what's bad, and what's beneficial for you, and only your physical body. Because I can attest to, I've taken DNA tests with my daughter right here on this app. We do not have the same DNA. They can tell that, yes, we are related. I am her mother. But the rest of that DNA in them sequences are different. And I was like, what the hell? Because she got a lot of German in her. And I'm like, I don't even hardly have that in me. So where'd that come from? Because she's her own person. She has her own fingerprints. She has her own personality. She has her own spirit man that lives inside of her. That is not my spirit man. I got a different one. So I cannot have expectations of her, or even with other one of my children, or even my sister, or anybody else who I mentored in my lifetime. I can expect them to do what I did or be who I was, because they are not me. So I always figured out, hey, let me just promote them being the best them they can be. Let me see, where are their talents, where are their skills, what do I see, what do they see as their talents and skills. And then as we search together in community, we were able to find, okay, this is what you like, this is what you don't like. Well, this is an aptitude that you were born with. How about this? And then work on that, training them up in the way they should go. That's what the Bible tells us to do. And the thing is that when you are not too wise in your own eyes, you're open to suggestion. I had to read, oh my God, I couldn't tell you how many books I had to read to be a decent parent. And I can't say that I was the best parent in the world or anything like that. I can say I did the best I could with whatever I could find to do it with. And luckily I'm a big on research and development, so I studied and read an awful lot. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't even be alive, because that's what I had to do for myself, for me to be still alive. I had to study and read, and find out what's real. I couldn't take the doctor's word for it. I couldn't take the anesthesiologist. I couldn't take the psychologist's word. I couldn't take all those people, because they only see me for 5-10 minutes each appointment, but I'm with me 24/7. So I had to be able to tap into that part of me that was with me 24/7 as well. Okay. So, and that's not being wise in my own eyes. That's recognizing that it was some other part of me that was wiser than my eyes could see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
singing a song in my head right now. What? I'm just
I know
saying,
it makes you
this
think.
little
I know
light
it
of
makes me think
mine,
when I'm
I'm
talking.
gonna let it shine. This
Yes,
little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, this I'm going in a song breaks while you're doing this, so I have background music in my own mind. That's how I like how my mind works sometimes. I really do.
that's right. Well, so let's go on into number 9.
Okay, so for mine, it says, glorify God with all your wealth, honoring Him with your first fruits, with every increase that comes to you. Then every dimension of your life will overflow with blessings from an uncontainable source of inner joy.
Okay, mine says, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of your crops or income. Then your barns shall be abundantly filled, and your vats shall overflow with the new wine. Okay, and how do you take? I'm no judgment here. What do you see that as meaning for you? Because it means something for me too.
For me, and in regards to the first fruits for everything. So my thing when I say first fruits, I'm just thankful. That's the first way of how I glorify. I am thankful and I accept what was given to me and say thank you that you gave this increase to me. And another way that I do it would also be in regards to my self care, making sure I have my regular maintenance when it comes to my self care in regards to the frequency that me and God have talked about, kind of thing. And then making sure my investments are good, and then my house is straight, and then my husband is straight, and then everyone else outside of me is good. And if I see someone that doesn't have food and asking for food, I'm gonna give them the money or go into the store to buy the food because I understand that sometimes they're not even allowed to go into the store, depending on the place and how the place is having their statutes and regulations. And or that would simply mean me just spending time with people, talking with them, and hearing their story and stuff like that. And if asking them, this is just a vent or is this guidance? And when I give of myself, that is from my abundance that I get from taking care of myself first. It's
Ooh,
not because of the lack, but it's from the abundance of that. That's where personally my inner joy comes from. Because first I took care of myself, and then I said, you know what? Now expand my light and use me.
okay.
And it's just amazing. I'll just say that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And like I said, here it says, honor the Lord with your wealth, and we already figured out that wealth, the word wealth comes from well health. Okay, and if you have well health, the first thing you can do is open your mouth, like you said, and say thank you, thank you. That is an income to you. If you are well, if you are healthy, yeah, that's shit. That's income. Okay, because you can't do nothing if you ain't healthy. All right. And then and if you're thankful, first off, when you get up in the morning, then of course your barns are gonna be filled because whatever you're thankful for, you don't get more to be thankful for. Okay. And then when you have a over when you get so much that you thankful for, and now your wine bottles are overflowing with this new wine, just pouring and pouring and pouring. Now, out of the overflow, you can pour it on to everybody else. Okay. But, most people read this, they think of, oh, I got to give my money. I got to give my this. I got to give my that. What about you got to give your essence because you are wealthy in that you're well and you got health in your body and you're still talking, you're still breathing, you're still walking. And your first fruits of that crop, it should be thankfulness. Now, if you want to go give your money, give your money. If you want to go do things, go do things. But the first of your fruits is you're waking up healthy and alive. And out of that, you give a 10% of your time, okay? 10% of your day ain't that much time. I mean, that means spend some time in prayer, spend some time in meditation, get the you right first, like you said, get the you part of you right first. Okay. And once your barns are filled, okay, then you can overflow onto everybody else. But if your barns ain't filled, you ain't got no business filling up nobody else's because in the end you're going to be depleted. Now, I personally I'm still struggling with a lot of this stuff. Okay, because Since I've been on this app, I've been being more attuned to it. Throughout my career, I was not that attuned to it, and I would take all my fruits of everything, my health, my wealth. It don't matter what it was, and I would pour everything into everybody else. Just pour it on everybody. I'm gonna love you, and I just throw up love all over you. But I wasn't loving me. So guess what happened to me? I died. I make a joke about it, but I did. I gave it all away. I gave it all away. She said, gave it all up at the pump. Okay, I've seen this gas prices, man. I gave it up at the pump. And then I had nothing left for me to pick me up when I fell down. But now that I know that I give out of my abundance, once I've been filled first, then I can pour into somebody else. Once I got my oxygen mask on first, then I can help other people get their oxygen mask on. And God gave me that part, this oxygen mask thing, when we were both sick and I was watching the worms on the ground in the backyard while I was trying to get well. You know, do you remember that story?
I don't remember the worm story. I remember the ant story, but not the worm story. Please
Well, I
tell
don't
us.
know. I don't know about the ant story. I know about the worm story. Well, it was. It was a part when I was really ill and I was having to sleep on the back patio of a friend's house because I couldn't even sleep in the house because I couldn't breathe in the house because of allergies. And it was raining. I had my propane heater and stuff, and I spent 24/7 in the backyard for almost 6 months, going in the house to use the bathroom to eat whatever. But the whole thing was a rainy day. Two worms came out of the dirt onto the patio. The first worm that came out, it was really clean and it was really tiny, so you can tell that it was a baby worm. The second worm that came out, it was really, really dirty and nasty and yeah. And, you could tell that worm had been around the block a few times. Now the little worm was crawling pretty fast, and the big worm was going slow, going after the little worm. It was like it was trying to say, "Come back, come back!" And the little worm is scared and is running from the water that was building in the grass. So I watched the worms go out, and both worms died. And I was like, "Wow, okay." And but I didn't really take notice. And then another day, I was still out there, it was still same rainy thing. A different day. This time a clean worm came out of the grass and the dirty one came out. The clean worm crawled so far, the dirty worm looked at the clean worm and went only so far, and then the dirty worm went back into the grass. Okay. And I was like, wow. Okay. So he saved himself and the little worm died. So the first one, both worms died. The second one, the little worm died that wasn't responding to the big one. The third time this happened, this is how God can talk to you through nature, through any damn thing. The third time, the little worm came out. The little worm came out, and the little worm was clean. The next one, the big worm was dirty again. Followed the little worm. Then somewhere along the path, and this is like we're not talking all in a couple of minutes. We talking. It took hours for this to play out, days for this to play out. This time, the little worm responded to the big worm, and they both went back into the grass, and they didn't die. I'm assuming they didn't die because they weren't on the patio dead. Okay. So that showed me that while we were sick and I was sacrificing my life to save your life, we both would have died. Okay. But when I decided that I'm going to do what I can for you, but I got to be focused on me, then I got me better. Then I was able to help you. And now we both lived.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't remember the worm story because that was like one of those things where God gave me just like that paper chasing paper story. Told me not to chase paper again. It would
Yeah.
catch me. You know.
Oh
So,
my
but the
god.
thing is, but God will talk to you through the animals, through the creatures. That's why I love nature. That's why I love hiking. I love looking at the animals. I love watching. Tokyo, please stop. Okay. I'm telling you, that's my energy is really high. The spirit is really on me. So this dog is smiling and all over me right now, and it's really hard to talk. But and I don't even know where I am in this reading. But however, whatever
We
it
are
is,
in number 9 and 10, Mom. 9 and 10.
okay, okay, number 9 and 10. All right. So the whole thing is that when this dog was on me. I'm sorry. She took my attention.
We're talking about honor God with your wealth and your first fruits and the worm story.
Yes. Yeah, honor. Yes. So the thing is that once you do that, and the thing is, when you recognize that God is not in space somewhere, finna come out the clouds in space, yet He's in your heart, and he can only come through the cause of your negative thoughts, then that takes a whole new vision of honoring him, and where the first fruits come from, because if it's in you, it must come out of you, because that's your first fruit. It's coming out of you. And like I said, your voice is the first thing that you know that you can open up and say something with. So that's why I say I start with Thanksgiving, and then once I'm filled with all doing my little stuff to in remembrance of who God is for me, thanking my angels, thanking the stars, thanking my ancestors, thank whatever God brings to my heart to pray. I'm spending that first part of my day with God, just me and God, because I believe that how you start your day is the way that your day is gonna end. You start your day in a fucked up attitude, your day gonna end up in a fucked up attitude. You start your day in praise and worship and in contemplations and thanksgiving, you're gonna end your day in praise and worship and thanksgiving and contemplation. Okay, so that's the first fruit that that I how God showed me this meant, and yeah, it can mean money, it can mean a whole lot of things, but it's the first part of you, the
I have a question.
yes, ma'am.
So would that now be the first will be last and the last shall be first? That's what that reminds me of.
Well, Thanksgiving is the first and the last thing you do. I'm always thankful whenever you get something, you say thank you, don't you?
I do. Because the
I
thing
guess
is,
you
they don't
could
have to
say
think
that then.
about me.
Sure, I guess you could say that. Thank him in the beginning and it thanks him in the end. The last should be first, first should be last. But I think that has to do with us thinking about who we are when it comes to our statue and being worthy and unworthy and being rich
I
and
think
being
that's just
poor and all that.
multifaceted.
Yeah, all the Bible is multifaceted because it's kind of like the Tao. I can read this now today and get an interpretation today, but then I can be going through something tomorrow and I can read this tomorrow and get a different interpretation. So people got to recognize that too when they're reading the word. Everybody's going to interpret it differently based upon their presuppositions and where they're coming from and what their history is and what they've been told and all that other kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So let's see here. Do you want me? You want to go down to 11 now?
Girl, I can't go down another with this talking in my face.
That's why I was wondering because I had
I'm
a
being
feeling she was
real.
going to be interrupting some things
But I
because
told you that
she's
before.
a
That's why.
character.
Yes. Oh, that's she gonna make noise too. Okay. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. Go get your toy. No, she don't want to go get the toy. Okay. Well, Sharinda, Mama gonna have to cut it short. I think you should give other people a chance to come up and do some of this with you and see what happens, because Tokyo is not allowing me to read nothing because she's walking on the tablet and, and she's all over my face and I can't do nothing right
And
now.
she's in that state of I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, no, no,
Yeah,
no
she's
where.
like, you paying attention to me now, Mama. You ain't paying to get that app. Okay. Okay, so
Oh, my
Tay
life is.
Tay, I'm gonna turn my attention to this thing that put itself in my face and is in my she's speaking in my mouth. Okay. Ah, okay,
I
Tokyo.
absolutely love it. I love you, mommy.
I love you too. I'll talk to you later.
Bye,
Bye.
Lois, and bye, Tokyo. Mr. Tokyo Hampson for you guys. Miss Tokyo Hampson. Gotta love the dog. So I was chewing on a minute. But so what we've gone through, just to reset the room before I bring up the next guest that I see in my queue, we are in Proverbs 3. We have talked about the rewards of wisdom in the Amplified translation as well as the Passion translation. We even got to the point where we talked about what wisdom guidance looks like and feels like. And then the next part is wisdom's correction. So before I bring my next person on, I will let you know you have 10 minutes to talk. The hour was set for Lois so she can stay on for as long as possible. And that's so we can continue moving on in Proverbs. So let's go ahead and bring on Mr. I believe it said Creed Cole. I believe that's what I saw, and I think he has a new profile picture because that threw me off.
Hello.
Hello, Creed. How you
Hey,
doing,
hey,
sir?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You changed your profile picture and threw my whole life off. I was like, is that crazy? Okay, when did
Yeah,
that
that's me.
change?
That's me. Yeah, I
Okay.
switched up on the picture.
Yeah, real quick. I wasn't ready. I was like, wait a minute. So,
So,
how long have you been listening? What are your
uh,
thoughts thus far?
well, I think I caught up on the end of it. I think you guys were discussing the Bible. I think it was just in the Bible and stuff like that. But before that, I was trying to look at my Bible. Proverbs 3. What's the content of Proverbs 3 so I can build on that?
So, this particular chapter in Proverbs 3, we're looking at it from the Amplified Translation as well as the Passion Translation, looking at two
Hmm.
different versions. We talked about the rewards of wisdom, wisdom's guidance, and we're about to get into wisdom's correction.
Mm, okay. And what did you get out of that so far? Like, what was your content out of that? Just curious.
Oh, so in regards to the living the long lasting life and to follow the truth that they was given to you is we were given that God is love and love is really all there is. So
Yeah.
when you focus on love and all that you do and don't let that go, you're going to be tremendously rewarded, especially for the fact that you have integrity, you are
You're
giving
dead spot on
mercy,
it.
you are giving grace. And the thing
That's my
is,
best. Yeah, thank you, Jesus.
so that's part. That's almost like, and then the guidance in regards to listening to God, and the God is not the first voice in your head. It's generally not. Yeah, it's the still quiet
Well,
voice, and it's
well,
the
what?
gentle voice.
Yeah, but what I found out too was that long as he didn't give you over to a shared conscious, a reprobate mind, you're gonna hear his voice. And also, like what I'm saying, like you were saying that if you follow just instead of like for me, I don't give anything the benefit of the doubt. I go with the safe bet, and that's love. And as long as I stick with the safe bet, then any type of thing that goes in my mind, like some fear belief system, this may be fear based, or some from an emotional standpoint where I may be all over the place. Then that's like a warning for me to know that no matter what the situation is, no matter how offended I may seem, no matter what, I personally don't feel that love. If it starts, I mean, I'll feel it no matter what. But if it starts like if things in my mind start taking it over, that's like a guardrail for me to correct myself. Like, oh nope, I don't care what you do, because I mean I'm going to heaven, and I love all humanity, and I plan on doing the right thing down here, so I can feel good. So that's how I just roll with it. I'm not going to have anything take me away from that. You know what I'm saying? The word is my guide point. Like, I mean, I guess people see it different ways when they read it. And the Bible speaks to people will. You know what I'm saying? Like those that have ears, where you know what I'm saying, will hear my voice. Like everyone, I don't expect to hear his voice because he says they won't. And everyone's not going to interpret the same way because some are going to try to look at it from a carnal mind and try to look at it from a Dr. Seuss book or from a Harry Potter or from some deep mystery, ancient Tibetan book. But I'll look at it from a spirit man's point of view. So, and it talks to me the same way it talks to you because it's not going to fathom from word to word. It's going to say it stands firm. It don't change. Your interpretation might change, but it's going to say the same because truth don't switch, right?
It doesn't. Oh, I'm just listening, sitting here listening, and playing music in my mind. I'll tell my mom this, and I'm gonna tell you this. When you guys talking, I hear some jazz music playing in the background in my mind because there's nothing jazz music playing around me right now. Okay, so I'm just sitting here listening to you and the wisdom that you're dropping because wisdom always wins,
Yeah.
and
So
that's what we're here to talk about. So yeah, what
yeah.
version are
So
you looking at?
because after excuse me.
What translation are you looking at for your
Oh,
Bible?
I'll have all of them here. I got like three of them sitting here. I can go to the King James. That's the one I like the King James because it just I like the proper wording. You know what I'm saying? To me, I just feel it. You know what I'm saying? So and then it doesn't
Okay.
matter to me what translation because for one, like you said earlier when I asked you that, I mean it's about where your centerpiece is. If your centerpiece is in the right area, God, the Bible's written all everywhere you look. For me, like I mean, it's just a learn. It's just a divine learning process. A divine. It's like I'm not necessarily learning. It's just that I feel like that I'm. walking in the midst of him to the point where I don't have to concern myself too much about learning. Just do right. I know right. I know how to think right. I know how to act right. I know how to do right. And I know how to get right. And then that's all. So anything else is an excuse for me. And I don't make excuses.
That makes sense. Here, and those are some dope words. So I'm gonna pull up the King James version on my side. And
Yes,
what
ma'am.
I was doing with my mom was this, okay? If you're
Mhm.
down, I'm down with you. Is we're gonna read the next verse, and you read your version, I'll read my version, and then we're both going to give an interpretation of what we see because everyone has their own point of view because you have your own life story, and I would love how you've seen this verse play out. And if you haven't, just say, I haven't. But I think you have. I really do. So you can go
Okay.
first in the King James Version, sir.
Okay. We're at Proverbs 3.
Proverbs 3, verse 11.
Okay. 1 second.
You're all good.
My son, despise not the chastising of the Lord, neither be wary of his corrections. Want me to go down? Go on.
Yeah, you can end with that next one because it kind of, they go
Yeah.
together. 11 and 12 go together.
For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that
I
was
definitely can
good.
feel that.
Okay.
Well, see, one thing I want to make a point right now before I even talk about 11 and 12, as I said this before, and I'm going to say it again, that he created me hard headed. I'm going to tell you that now. So, so I know about getting whooped.
A hard head makes a soft behind. Oh my
So just
gosh.
let me just put that out there. I was one of the hard head ones, okay?
No, that totally makes sense. So my version would say this is my child, when the Lord God speaks to you, never take his words lightly and
Mm-hmm,
never be upset when he corrects you. For
hmm
the Father's discipline comes only from his passionate love and pleasure for you. Even when it seems like his correction is harsh, it's still better than any father on earth gives his child.
Yeah, yeah. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of his word. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I can,
So
mhm.
So my thing is because you said you were high headed, how did this look like in your life, sir?
Well, a few ways. I can go as far as um, my upbringing when I was young. I grew up in a church, apostolic church, saved, baptized, filled with the Holy Spirit. Seen demons being cast. I've seen people speak in tongues, saved with the Holy Spirit, and these are the same people we see it in my church today. They 40 years there, nothing but prosperity. So, but for some reason, I didn't get it. Um, and when I did get a little older and start trying to experiment different things and lifestyles and stuff, and fell for different, suggestions and traps. He was right there telling me. I knew, I'm not one of the ones that didn't know. And he showed me how I was the prodigal son. I went, I went out there and I got everything that I was supposed to get from being out there. And it hurt, and it was shameful when I came back home. And so the corrections behind the punishment. Don't get me wrong. He corrected me, and correcting doesn't only mean a whooping. You know what I'm saying? It was a lesson behind all of that, and so yeah, my God was there, teaching me in my ear, with wings around me, protecting me with angels, protecting me, helped me up when I fell, and but yet and still, I had to work my way back. He didn't just pick me up and put me in the bullpit, or pick me up and put me with a couple million. I had to work my way back. And then on top of that, it was crazy because financially, it was a hard way back. Because financially, I was doing so well, and everything was so well on the exterior. So it necessarily wasn't the exterior thing. It's just the pain of myself, my conscious, the conscious. That's how it whoops me. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
I
yeah.
got you, and that's all here. And it's all truth, my brother. It's all truth. And I will say for me is that I remember when I was getting correction from someone that I was like, I shouldn't be getting correction from you. I remember how I would cry after or cry during getting the correction. And for me, they always got scared. I was like, no, this is my heart opening back up again. This is fine. I'm going to be fine. I needed to hear this, and this is okay. It's just going to take a second for me to come back, okay? And it just means I really learned this lesson. I water that seed of, no, I'm sorry, and I'm receiving this correction and this love that they gave it to me, and now I'm gonna be better for it because I'm watering the seeds that now I want, not the seeds that I don't want to grow no more. And
Yeah,
that he never does it when he's never he never wants to be upset when he corrects you, because the thing is that hero, for me, that means that the anger, that I'm feeling is not from him, it's from myself, about myself, saying how could you do this, da 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 da, shoulda woulda, that mess.
yeah,
And no, they're saying it with love and with lightness and saying, no, you have grace and you're going to be fine. And you're like, but no, I need to be in Alcatraz. And you're like, but Alcatraz, really? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of like
yeah, yeah,
extreme for like a
yeah,
petty
yeah.
crime. Okay. Like, it really is. But that's just
Well,
me and my little
yeah.
2 cents.
And my thing is that I think what happened was initially I started trying to search for perfection. I believe in Christ. I was trying to use superficial ways, and then I kept failing the test. Sort of like the Old Testament, where he gives all these tablets of rules and stuff that he knew you never gonna make. Like, just so you can push him closer to Christ. Once the New Testament came and Christ came, he had to have Christ because you just couldn't follow all those rules. And I thought I kept trying to just follow the rules and what I thought was being a good Christian or being a good man or being a good human being. And I think when I just let that go and just really just quit the bull crap and say, you know what, man, quit with all that superficial stuff. Quit with all that manipulation. Quit with all that holding it down. Just tone it down, man, and just you're broken, and if you're broken, imagine everybody else. Like, just look past the masses. Don't go with the bells and whistles and all the delusions and all the stuff people trying to put in your face. Just really look at yourself, and then you'll see everybody else, man. And then just love them from there, man. Just love them from
That's
there,
all
and
you
then that's
can do. And like, I will say this for me, what I found in my current reality, what is also really thinking about like the Old Testament versus New Testament. The
mhm.
Old Testament to me seems like it's rules before relationship, but the New Testament's all about the relationship before the rules. And I'm like, what?
Well, it seemed like there were rules that
And that's
never
all
could
I
be.
understood. What?
It's not just rules that never could be followed. It's like it was God joking, like a big old joke from God. Like, okay, y'all want these? Y'all want some rules? Okay, I told you just to love each other and just stop and do everything I said in the garden. So he gave all these rules and regulations and get all these ways of forgiveness. We cut the calves and go to the third tent and talk to the man with the big hat and then go over there. They're gonna sprinkle some dust on you and then you go back over there and bring me two doves and like all those things. I believe was the high anxiety complications of man, and to the point where he just was looking at y'all like, no, you have to look at me. Like, so he brought Jesus, and that was a different route. But I'm not thinking about the rules and regulations. I'm just thinking about being right by you, not offending my brother. Because Paul talked about the only offense is not to offend your brother for real. So as long as I don't offend the next person, and I'm not saying I'm gonna be used. I'm nobody's doormat, but I stay away from sin and sinful people anyway. So so I'm not too much worried about that. But just in case the adversary may be working through one of my somebody close or something, I'm mindful of that. And then my energy, I don't have to lay hands on you with no holy oil or none of that or olive oil, whatever they use. I can my presence and this how I'm gonna come across. The devil gonna flee. It's no room. I got courage. Like, there's no room for him or none of that. Like, nothing. And if anything, I'm reading this wrong, getting interpreted this wrong or something like that, and my spirit gonna really get me in line with that. So I'm just loving where God got me right now.
I got you. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Yes,
Or you
ma'am.
want to bow out? Because it's whatever you want to do, sir. It's
No,
up
where,
to
where
you.
we at? Where we at?
Okay, so we're now at Proverbs 3, and we're moving on to 13 and 14, because those go together. So I'll let you go first
Okay,
when
probably.
you're ready.
Okay, hold on. Let me get. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
And so mine says, blessings pour over the ones who find wisdom, for they have obtained living understanding. As wisdom increases, a great treasure is imparted, greater than many bars of refined gold. It is more valuable a commodity than gold and gemstones, for there is nothing you desire that could compare to her.
I mean, that's absolutely true. I mean, and then when, but this, I define wisdom. The wisdom to me is the definition of wisdom, the application of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's the definition of wisdom when you apply the knowledge that you learn. So, I mean, like, you can use it, and we can look at that in a few different ways. We can look at it like, I believe the Bible is all knowledge, and if you apply the Bible in the right way, then you'll have supreme wisdom. So, I was just saying, like when you eat something, like the only way to digest something and have it come out different is the only thing man that can actually change the shape of something. And so when you eat those words, and you got them in your belly and in your mind, and you live in them, they're gonna come out in a different type of energy, because this is like a conductor thing. You can pour it in, and then just get different type of energy, and then that energy that you get out of it, you know what I'm saying, that's where your wealth gonna come from, because it's not gonna produce anything lack. It's not even set up to produce lack. You digest it, you're gonna be wealthy. Guarantee you that. Look at the
I
coach.
love it. And I absolutely love it. Like that's what I said. I like hearing other people's translations of this because it's all like groovy. I'm gonna say or dynamite, if you will.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So,
and when I say like when people that find and understand the living understanding, not just hey, I learned this from a book, but have you applied it?
well,
Have you
you have to.
figured out how it works for you?
Well, your physical body eats food. So, you know what I'm saying? Your spirit body, man, I mean, it has to be nourished. So you can nourishing it with that word is like nourishing it with Angus beef. Like it's gonna work.
No, I got you. So wisdom is when the head marries the heart, when intellect marries intuition. Oh, that's the three-part system to me, like the Trinity. But the thing is that's still Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You know,
Yeah.
I just have multiple names because I believe like it's just a label at the end of the time. As long as I know the presence, I think that really that's all that is kind of
Now the
thankful.
now the thing that I sometimes maybe struggle with is that now I know the Bible is all truth, and I know it has carried me and will carry me, and I know that that's everything. I'm not questioning that. It's just sometimes when I be wondering about knowledge, I'm wondering if there's any type of knowledge outside of the Word. Even though all the knowledge I need is in the Word, and I wonder just the other signs that He gives me and the other things like that. When I digest that, I just want to be so just I'm just sometimes I struggle if when I digest that is it productive is like I want it to be. You know what I mean? It's like it's
No, and
kind of
I got
tricky.
you.
Like I'm
Like,
not
I
losing
will say
anything with
this.
the Bible. Okay,
So
go ahead.
some people say this for me. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know. So I married into more of a religious family. When I say married into, I really do married into. Like my father-in-law is a pastor of a
Hmm.
church, and his
Hmm.
mom is the first lady and the congregation and the baptism and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
when I started talking about the other tools, spiritual tools that I use, they thought I was speaking blasphemous, and I was like, but these are things have been healing me. This is the reason why you can see me walk and not limp anymore. And I'm following that path, and I know like it feels kind of weird or stuff like that. But for me, all I can do is go into, like I said, the inner quiet voice and follow the tools. And the thing is that after I do the things that whatever God tells me to do, he'll give me a label like 3 weeks later, and I'm like, huh, that's what that was. Well, that's nice to know what the name is. And he said I wasn't going to tell you in the very beginning because I knew you were going to shy away from it. And I was like, touche, touche. And I can't even get mad at that because my internet knows. My internet knows me. So when I like look at different tools, like the Bible is basic instructions before leaving Earth. And if I know that, that means there's other tools out there that I can read and that I can grasp some interpretation from. Like when I watch movies, I love Disney movies, and I love them because they generally have a moral of the story. And I'm always looking for the moral of that story, whatever story that is. Like I was thinking Princess and the Frog earlier. So that story was a woman who wanted to build a restaurant because that was the legacy that she and her father wanted to leave. And she was
Uh-huh.
willing to do whatever it took to get that restaurant. And that meant grueling hours, not hanging out with her friends, and only being about business to get the money to be able to get that restaurant. And her song
Right.
was, I'm almost there. I'm almost there through all these trials and tribulations and people thinking I'm crazy because they kept saying she was crazy every time she turned down her friend so that she can go to her purpose and lived on that narrow road. But she used tools from everything, and she, in the animation, she turned into a frog, okay, and she had to deal with the voodoo man and a whole bunch of other stuff. But she learned that love overcomes everything because that is what she found out in that journey, and that with that love, her dream came true, and she was able to have a life companion as well through that journey. And for me, is that that they use a whole bunch of other tools. Like she had to become a whole different being, okay, and then she had to learn how to be that being, even though she didn't like it because she's like, I don't like being a frog. This is gross. It was a hilarious movie, but
And
this is how I watch stuff.
yeah, and the just the subliminals and the morals of those things, what you learn from those type of shows and stuff is really good stuff for real. Like they have so much meaning behind the content behind those things. I love
Oh
writers like
yeah, and that's why for me, that's what I mean by that's one of my tools. Do I think of it as a religious experience? No, but is it fun singing the songs and looking for the moral of the story in a new line of thought? Yes,
yeah,
because I first thought it was about her dealing with her daddy issues. Because at my time, I was dealing with my daddy issues, and I was like, uh huh.
yeah,
And I hear you, and you're gonna follow this because he said this. Okay, I got you. And it's your father's dying wish, like Hamilton's. Your father's dying wish. That's why you went to college, kind of thing. And this is how I like. Just this is how I kind of see the world. But because I made a oopsie and I went too far, is there any way, if you're not too busy, I can read your version of 15 for King James version, or you can, depending on how you want to do it, because I accidentally overread earlier.
I'm right with you. Hold on, 1 second. Yeah,
Okay.
when we come to that word, I mean, I'll stop for that in a minute.
I'm just making sure because I never know. So I was like, just let me know if I need to have your back.
Okay. Say chapter 3, where we at?
Verse 15, she is.
Okay, gotcha. Verse 15. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared to her. Length of days is in her right hand, in her left hand riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasure, okay, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her, and happy is everyone that retaineth her. That's down to 19.
That's down to 19. Okay, then here. Now I have to catch up to you, sir.
I'm
Dang.
sorry.
And that was some good information. No, you straight. This is Hero. We're tag teaming and it's okay. This is all live, so it's okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go from 15 down to, you said 19, so I'm gonna do that for you.
All
TBT.
right.
So um it is a more valuable commodity than gold and gemstones, for nothing you desire that could compare to her. Wisdom extends to you long life in one hand, and wealth and promotion in the other. Out of her mouth flows righteousness, and her words release both law and mercy. The ways of wisdom are sweet, always drawing you into the place of wholeness. Seeking for her brings the discovery of unfolded blessings, for she is the healing tree of life to those who taste her fruits.
That's honest. I mean, and that's the absolute truth. And I mean, as you read it. I'm just going back thinking. It takes me back to think. God is taking me back in my mind and letting me know, like the ways that the stuff that I learned and how I put it together, and I became wise enough to just be in the place I'm at just right now. Like for example. I can know a contractor, I can know 10 painters, I can have a developer waiting for a project, I can know a GC, but unless I'm smart, wise enough to put everybody together, it will never happen. I know a lot of people that know a lot of people, but I don't know a lot of people can put everything together and make a good project that brings a great profit. You know what I'm saying? Like from like the numbers, the estimating. So it's just I'm just glad that
So
that we.
understanding that you are a leader that can see the strengths of others that are around you to hone in on those strengths to build a good team like the Avengers and stuff like that. Right?
Well,
Is that
that
what I'm
and all
understanding?
that and not also knowing every area of it. Like I know every area of what I just named pretty much, and to be able to know every area of it, and then know how to pick the right people and pull the strengths out of them. Like just pull a little strength out of this person, little strength out of this person, and then keep the everyone optimistic enough to help me out with a project from beginning to end. I mean, that's just amazing to me. Like just that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not counting the other areas that I'm dealing with. And then to have like so much room in a day or a week or a day, basically, and never realizing a day, like I can go through and don't even realize time is almost no and non-existent in my life. That's how much I can do and still rest and still learn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
No, I
crazy.
got you. I will
It's
say
like
for me, I have
amazing.
to be on schedule only because I got a W-2 and my W-2 says there's certain times there are meetings and I have to be at present at those meetings. So that's the only way I'm on time. Other than that, I'm like I'll be asleep or I'll be like cleaning or I'll just be doing me kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it says wisdom extends you to long life in one hand and wealth and promotion in the other, to me, for that means to me is that wisdom will lead you to making the best choices possible, which will lead to a long life that could possibly have money, wealth, and whatever that you want it to have. Or you can take the quick path of wealth and rapid promotion, but not understanding with it. Just
Yeah.
being receiving, receiving, receiving it, and then not realizing how you lost it all.
I've been through that. Well, kind of. I mean, you gotta catch yourself before you lose it all. You know, just kind of wake up and realize, hey, look, this is the wrong direction.
Understand the risk. I got you. Mitigate risk. Mitigate your risk. I got you. I got you.
Like,
I really do.
you know, I mean, and then that's where regular risk assessments come in at when you first do the project, and then also just monitoring. It's good. Good monitoring always helps. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Especially.
it definitely does. And I will say that when it says the ways of wisdom are sweet and always drawing you into the place of wholeness, it's always going to draw you back to the one, aka to the
Well,
source, to the God, to whoever your higher power is. And
but
that's
sometimes.
like, and it's always gentle sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, stuff just seeming unbelievable, so I kind of like keep it in a little bit. But at the end of the day, to be honest with you, it's like as long as I'm thinking right, living right, keep going about my day, or whatever. Like all my blessings and things that I receive, you know what I'm saying, from him. It's like I'll be seeing it so far ahead. Like I see so many blessings ahead that the ones that's near to come, it's almost like I'm just so used to. I'm still so grateful. Don't get me wrong. Is I'm constantly walking in them that it's like, and I don't even know how they. I mean, I know how they come. They're coming through positive energy. Like it's nothing. It's almost like I'm not gonna say magic's not the right word to use, but it's like just like I guess just the positive thinking thing piece, the energy thing piece. I don't know what it
Like
is, but
alignment kind of thing. You're in
I'm
alignment
definitely
and
in
our
line.
harmony.
Well, now I'm in line, and also I'm following the rules. Like that means a lot. Like I'm following the rules. Like you know what I'm saying. So I'm expecting a reward. You know what I'm saying? Because he promised me, and I'm getting everything that he promised me, and more. Because I'm doing my part. So
I
that's why
got you. That's having faith right there. Faith
yeah, I don't have
works.
no doubt. And he's showing me this. I mean, at first it's faith, but now it's almost knowing. It's like faith. It's like I have faith, but I like it's just beyond faith for me. It's like I mean I'm living it, so why? I mean, like how can I deny what I see? It's manifesting continuously, like every day, and he's constantly bringing people for me to do things for, like to serve, like to and like people just like you know what I'm saying that I mean, they're equal, so I'm not gonna say less than me, but people that's damaged that I could that what where I once was, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm not in the behavioral health arena, when I step out of it sometimes, he still, those paths follow me. I'm on his assignment, for real. I'm on his
And
assignment.
that totally makes sense. No, and I got you. So I will say this. Now that we discussed this, this brings us now to, and I'll tell you what verses so you use aware. So this
Okay.
is the wisdom's blueprints. So that's from verse 19 to verse 20. Let
Okay.
me know if you want to start first, and then I'll go second.
I
If
got
you
you.
want to keep doing that order.
I got you. We do something. We might keep the same thing. Chapter
Okay.
3, with 19 and
Mm-hmm.
20. Okay. I'll stop at
Yeah.
20. Okay. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, by understanding hath he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew.
That sounds so nice. Like the dew in the
The
morning. That
Lord
song
by
reminds me of
wisdom
that.
hath founded the earth. Wow, that's
So, wow. Okay. Híjole. Okay.
mm,
I'm gonna read my version, and then we're gonna dissect this. I'm just gonna say híjole because that's all I can say right now. It's for
okay.
me. It says the Lord laid the earth's foundations with wisdom blueprints. By His living understanding, all the universe came into being. By his divine revelation, he broke open the hidden fountains of the deep, bringing secret wells to the surface as the mist of the night dripped down from heaven. Now that was poetic.
That's poetic. That was poetic. And then just the confidence in the writing. You know what I'm saying? Just the confidence in writing. Like, just it's plain as day. Like, why not believe it? The Lord by wisdom have found the earth, by understanding have he established the heavens. By his knowledge the depths are broken up, and the clouds drop down the dew. That just tells me for real that, I mean, just imagine we're a micro to macro. So it's like it's basically telling us what we're capable of doing. I'm not saying that we're God. I'm not saying we can do it that magnitude, but in our little God space down here, our little situations, our little homes and stuff, I mean, just have that wisdom and understanding that he can control everything. If he's doing all that, he got you. So I feel like I'm being carried anyway. So you're just validating, what I'm saying, the person who's carrying me, the entity who's carrying me, God, the Almighty. So I appreciate that. I love his
And that
wisdom.
makes sense.
Look, I put it like this. I mean, some parts of me saying that I love you, let me know how wise. It reminded me how wise and how he operates, because it makes me feel good because I'm dumb as a bag of rocks. So as long as he carrying me and he got his wisdom doing everything, I feel good about that. It's like, no,
I
that is.
cannot. I just thought about a bird
I was
flying with a
joking.
bag of rocks.
I mean,
And that's
I
why
mean,
I
I,
was
I
like,
mean,
I
I don't mean it like that.
can't.
I'm talking about in his. I mean, compared to him, I'm saying in his eyes, compared
See,
to him.
I have an imagination. So when you
Mhm.
said that, I had a full on seagull in my mind who was literally carrying a bag of rocks, and I'm just like, dude, why, let them go. You're gonna drag yourself down. Like, let them go, okay?
Like,
But this is how my mind works, okay? I'm just letting you know, like, it's just Shrent. This is how Shrente's mind works, and
you know
it
what?
is
And
what
you
it
should start.
is.
Do you do children's books?
I actually am thinking about doing it. It's been on my heart and
If
stuff.
your
I just haven't
imagination,
started.
if you're 80% emo, like the way it sounds to me, and if your imagery and your vision is that clear and concise, it would almost be a shame if you not do some children books. Just FYI.
Well, I appreciate it, and I probably should. It's just I was like, I thought I was going to do novels first, and God's like, nah, nah, you're going to do email templates first, and I'm like, oh,
Okay.
okay, that's fun, I guess, and then make offer letters. Oh, that's fun, I guess. Like, so now it's getting more back into my creativity and stuff like that because I have a lot of other things in the works that I want to do and stuff like that, but also figuring out the legal stuff and the laws of the land before I
Yeah.
start building that foundation so it can
Yeah.
actually on good rock, and it's actually built with bricks and cement, or that cement stuff in the middle of it, not that straw house like the Three Little Pigs. No, 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 no.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. I know what you mean. So,
So I love this, but I will say I appreciate you for staying with me for as long as you have, because I don't know if you have to go or not, but thank you for your wise words. I really do appreciate you even taking the time to work with me for like over 35 minutes. Like that
Oh,
just
you
says
know
a lot
what?
about
And
you. I appreciate you.
oh, I mean, yes, most definitely. I mean, like I said, anytime I can build with anyone, when it comes to the word, and especially I can tell that your spirit is in tune and you solid in your faith, and that makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like you are in the same tribes. You know what I'm saying? So then, like you said, we're on wisdom, and we'll be able to share. You know what I'm saying? The word, if it's just a sentence or anything. I mean, there's a lot of ministers out there, but I can't say that every minister is a minister of Christ. So I appreciate you. Okay.
No, I do. And like I said, just thank you for coming on and thank you for giving that King James version. I forgot about that. These styles, eyes, church.
Oh, don't
Like,
forget
dude,
about
I
that.
haven't listened to
I mean,
that one
but you
for
gotta remember
years, like
though, it may
13
be written
years.
like that. It may be written like that for a reason. You gotta remember, like some people have wrote different versions of the Bible in carriages coming from going from one country to another. You know what I'm saying? Masonic people, all so them these and thous and all those things though, the scripture like that, they may have a deeper meaning. Like you know what I'm saying? Like everything, like I say outside the Bible. I'm not saying outside the Bible, but I mean some of the things I was afraid of even paying attention to, they may have been set up like that intentionally so I won't learn something. So I gotta look for all. I want all the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? God gonna
No, I
decipher
got
it all up.
you.
God
Because
gonna
here's the
decipher
thing,
it
we
all
don't
for me.
know nothing. I'm like, how does this phone work that I have? I know it has crystals in it, and I got some Intel chips, maybe from Samsung, and I don't know how exactly those. I don't. I know a little bit about a little bit. I don't know a lot about a lot, and I let the God part of me talk, because
I'm gonna keep it
I am
honest
not.
with you. I
I'm
have
not the
this
all wise.
iPhone. I gotta have this iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I swear I be wanting to see if it's a wire inside of it. Like I don't think I got no wires or nothing. Like it's all glass. I want to smash it just to see like how did they do this? I don't.
Do the YouTube. There's literally a channel where they smash things open just to see what's inside of it.
Okay,
Not even
good.
joking with you.
I'm serious. 'Cause I'm
So
looking
please
like this
don't smash
thing.
your phone.
I'm looking like this thing. How did they make this like this? Like wow, like this is definitely Star Trek. But okay though, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna get into the word, and, pray a little, get on my knees, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and listen into you. Okay,
Okay, I love you, man. Talk to you
I
later.
love you too. I love
And
you too, and God bless you. Okay, bye bye.
I just want to say thank you so much, Creed Cole, or he can hero. For me, it'll be CC because I have to pay attention to both those C's as he will change his profile in the nth degree. But I appreciate the change because the thing is I like seeing new pictures of different people to see all the different like looks and stuff like that. Because I know I don't look the same as I did yesterday, as I look the same as I probably will tomorrow. I don't know. But I will say, I just wanted to thank everyone for being on right now. I'm going to bring up my next guest after I reset the room. Right now, we are discussing how wisdom wins, and we're talking Proverbs 3. We have been the Passion Translation, the Amplified Translation, and the King James Translation. We have had Lois Hampson, MFT on. We've also had Mr. Cree to the Cole on, who helped us see some more insights from his point of view that is so powerful as stories are testimonies that we can actually find more things out about us and how other people operate. And now we're going to bring on the next guest in tres, dos, uno, and they're here.
I'm
Welcome back.
back. Okay. She's pretty calm. She's asleep right now. Okay. But she's gonna get a little crazy because Niecy's on her way over.
Oh, Lanta.
So
Oh,
yeah, but
Lanta.
that's okay. I'm gonna let Niecy deal with it when she come in. But at any rate, I want to get back on here, and I appreciate Creek for coming in and standing in and finishing the ones that we didn't finish, and want to see if we can get through the rest of them.
Oh yeah, that was the hope. I was trying to be completely done with Proverbs, so we're completely done with all of it before I say night night. Cause I like the sleeps in my body. I think you like the sleeps in your bodies too when you have to go to that rest after you said your gratitude for the day.
That's right.
So I will go back to Amplified Translation because that's where you were at.
Right.
And we're starting in with the for me the title is Wisdom, Our Hiding Place. And this is for Proverbs 3 verse 21. And thank you
21.
guys for the love and the hearts. I do see them.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
You want me to read it? I can read my verse. My son, let them not escape from your sight, but keep sound wisdom and discretion, and they will be life to your soul, your inner self, and gracious adornment to your neck, your outer self. He said, all the way through what? So that was 21 and 22.
We can just stop there. That was already a mouthful. Man,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm going back up and I'm reading your translation. I was like, uh-huh. And I see that. Okay. So my version of we just went over verses 21 and 22.
Mm-hmm.
My child, never drift off course from these two goals for your life: to walk in wisdom and to discover your purpose. Don't ever forget how they empower you, for they strengthen you inside and out and inspire you to do what's right. You will be energized and refreshed by the healing they bring.
Wow, I like your version. Yeah,
But both versions are fire, though. They really
they
are,
both
because
are.
the
They both
like the
are.
first one talks about they will be life to your soul, so your out inner self, and then it's going to adorn your out like and your outer self too.
Yeah.
So for me, that means like it's in every part of you, because that's your in and your out kind of thing.
Yes. And
And
that goes along with that saying that beauty's only skin deep. So
oh damn,
if your inner self is not beautiful, then your outer self, I'm sorry, it's not gonna look so good either. You know, um, and how many people have we known who were beautiful on the outside but ugly on the inside, or ugly on the outside by people's standards, by they standards. I don't believe in they. I told you I don't know who the hell they are, but they can be quiet. But the whole thing is that people judge you based on your outer self, and they don't look at your inner self. But when you using wisdom and sound discretion, and you're walking in wisdom, and you're walking in love, because wisdom is when your intellect marries your intuition, and when you're walking in that love and that light, you dig the beauty that's on the inside is going to radiate on the outside, and your outside actually, when you're meditating, actually that you kind of stop time and you actually get younger, because I know that since I've been on this journey of healing, I look younger now than I did when I was 40 something. Okay, because I was
I'm
like,
just
wow.
gonna keep. I'm gonna say this is when we went to go get our massage this week. I can tell you guys this story. The person that I always see, because I always go there. I've been going for 2 years, guys. There, I was like, yeah, that's my mom. She's like, that's your mom, and I was like, yeah, she's 60, and I'm 27. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah. And then we go outside, and she goes outside and stuff like that, and she's like, she rides her motorcycle. I was like, yeah, she's bad. I was like, that's who my mom is, and the thing is that if you quote unquote act at your age according to what society says 60 looks like, because that's just a thing, you would not be riding a motorcycle or nothing. You will be haggard. You will be walking with a limp in your back like Hunchback of Notre Dame, and bitter.
Okay, but see, God made me better, so I ain't worried about bitter. Okay, and and I was better. I was better. I was not bitter when I was not better. Okay, I did not lose. I didn't get embittered by anything that I went through. I allowed myself to grow from it, and because I wore wisdom. I wore it, I slept it, I ate it, I studied. I went outside the box of my chosen religion, and I recognized to be a religion, and it had dogma just like every other religion. And the thing about religion is everybody think that their religion is the correct one, when in essence all of them have the same essence behind them and the same message, except a different messenger bringing forth the message. And we are all different messengers bringing forth the message of our own lives. Our lives speak to people. Our lives speak to people before we even open our mouth. So when we are walking in wisdom and people see what's going on is in our lives, especially since Brianna's been gone and we've been dealing with everything that all the fallout and everything like that. And people are like, how are they doing this? And why aren't they all sad? And, because we walk in wisdom. We know that as long as we're in high vibration, we can be in contact with the other side, because that's what the prophets were doing. Prophets were involved in touching that energy. The astrologers of the Bible days, the ones who said had to start it, they had to follow the star to find the Christ child. All that was astrology. Okay, we're talking prophecy and astrology. Thank you, Nixie. Oh, you look so cute. Did you ride your motorcycle? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. It's so silly.
So it sounds like my sister, my older sister, arrived to my mama's
Yeah,
house. And they're
yes, she
having a
did.
beautiful conversation for a
I'm
moment.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sharente. I almost called you Brianna.
I am not worried about it. And
Go
I am
ahead.
Charenté. Thank you very much. I love you too.
Okay. so, so basically, what was I saying before? She looks so cute. I'm sorry.
She probably do, because she be fire like that. And I'm like, you always dress up for work. Why can't you do that on an everyday basis? I have questions. But that's just me. I digress. I digress. And my sister looking
Where'd
fly.
I end?
Um,
Where?
we were on verses 21 and
Oh, you're
22.
honoring your inner self
Yes.
when you allow wisdom and love. I mean, that intuition marrying the intellect, and you allow that wisdom to rule. Then when as your inner self, as you allow your inner self to take over, it improves everything on your outer environment. Everything, not just your outer self, but your whole outer environment. And man, it's like y'all were talking before, you can be secure in that because once you know that wisdom and God is like a tree, okay, that's planted, and if you hold on tightly to it, everything grows from that. That's why I say that fertilizer, all that shit that happens in our lives, is simply fertilizer for our tree to grow, for us to grow. It's not meant for us to be buried underneath. And if we're buried underneath, we need to reach in there and find the gold, because everything works together for our good, regardless to what it is. I was telling somebody earlier on the app that I wouldn't change a thing in my life. Yes, I've been through a whole lot of shit. Okay. You've been through a whole lot of
Oh,
shit with me.
you're saying that to Felicia, aka Auntie,
Okay.
on
I'm like,
her
I
self
talked to
love
some.
talk.
Thank you. Okay. So yeah, but going through all that shit made me more conscious of myself, of communication, of creativity, of compassion, of all that kind of stuff, because I wanted out of the suffering. In order to get out of the suffering, I had to get out of the old thinking. When I got out of the old thinking, the suffering ceased. It
So what
ceased to
I'm
be.
hearing is this: is I put off the old man and put on the new man, which is renewed in the knowledge of him who has created me. I will be it's to not be conformed of this world, but be transformed of the renewing of your mind.
Amen.
That's what just pulled up
Amen.
for
And
me in my mind.
when I renewed my mind was renewed by learning everything that pertained to life, love, and godliness that is here on this earth that I could find out about. That means how does astrology relate to God? How does astronomy relate to God? How does my study in psychology relate to God? How do the sciences relate to God? How do the rocks relate to God? How do the mountains, the hell, okay? And then I found that God is the energy that brings it all together, and that we're all of it. The energy of the sky, of the sea, of the people, of the animals, of the birds, of the trees, of the insects, even of the disease. All of it has that same energy within it that gives it life. And so that means we're all interconnected, except we're on different frequencies and different vibrational waves, and they have different resonance, and that we're all magnetized to that which is like itself. Okay, so we're vibrating on the negative end of this stuff, and then we're locked into the rules and the dogma, and this got to be this, and you can't look outside they told you grew up with. It was a kind of brainwashing too, just like the TV brainwashes us, just like school brainwashes us. Everybody is trying to get us to believe what they want us to believe, because if we believe what they want us to believe, then they can have control, and we never check to see what are our beliefs ourselves. What do we really believe in? What floats our boat? What brings us the excitement to our eyes? What brings joy to us? you know. And everybody is not a logical thinker. Some people think artistically. I was an artistic thinker as a child and was deemed educably retarded. Okay, so the thing is when you get wisdom, okay, you know how to turn anything around. And as a child, I prayed for wisdom, and the educably retarded it ended up to top of the class, the only one with all the ropes around her neck, with all the stuff draping down her back like a little shawl. Hey, I was badass. But that shit didn't amount to nothing when I got sick and no doctor could help me. I had to go within myself. All that piece of paper, all them little letters behind my name didn't mean a damn thing. It was the word that I put in me that I could say, okay, I am not this body. I am not this disease. I am not this degree. I am more than this. I got to find out how much more than this I was. And my best friend Kelly said, when you realize who you are, ain't nothing going to stop you. And so I had to figure out who that was. And that led me down the rabbit hole, figuring out, using the wisdom that I was given to find out more. And then learning to apply that knowledge to obtain more wisdom. Okay, so when I raised y'all three of you guys, my daughters, I raised you guys learning how to research and develop so that you can come to wisdom in and of for yourself by yourself, so you didn't have to listen to all the dogmas. That's why I never made y'all go to church. I gave everybody an option, although I was preaching at church. I was preaching, teaching, directing choirs, the whole kid and caboodle. Okay, but I gave y'all a choice. And if y'all wanted to go to a different church, now, did you go to a different church?
I was at church all the time. Salvation Army, Cottonwood Church.
You would go every
There.
church
I
you
was
wanted to.
everywhere.
Okay.
I
And you
really
wasn't
was.
always at the same church I was at, because I wanted you to find who God was for yourself. Okay. And when you decided, I'm not going, I didn't say, oh, you better go. If you don't go, you're going to die in hell. You're going to burn. No, because I already knew that hell was here on earth, and heaven and hell are states of mind. They're vibrational levels here on this earth, because everything after this earth, when you die, quote unquote, you're living, and you're living with everybody and everything. It There was not, I'm telling you, when I left here, I was not always walking, following all the rules and all the dogma. I should have burned in hell when I died, but I can't. I had a choice, and I was given a choice to come back each time I left here, and that was 3 times. Okay, so my view of God is totally different than a lot of people's. However, I know God from, I don't know God from what I read about God. I don't know about wisdom what I read about wisdom. I know it from what I lived. And so when you guys hear this passion and love coming from Lois, this is real. I lived it. I lived the word. I ate, slept, and breathed it before I had to live it. And I went into my wilderness experience like everybody has to go through. Everybody got to go through a wilderness experience to figure out who God is for themselves. Most people don't want to go, and they don't go unless they get so broken they ain't got nowhere else to go. And some still won't go, and they'll just die.
I will say
Okay,
this. This reminds me of the story I told you in regards to I assimilated guys. I
your
assimilated my
voice is a
mom's
little
life.
muffled.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I assimilated my mom's life and her walk in regards to at least these past 12 years to the life of Job, and how he kept losing stuff, but he never shook his faith of he believed in God. His friends criticized him, but he still said, no, there is a way and I'm going to be fine. Just because everything is going by the wayside, I'm still going to be fine. And at the end of it, he was fine. And then his barn house was overfilled, I think 7 times 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he got more than what he had more than what he began with, and that has been occurring for me ever since I was a child. You know, I mean, I thank God I ain't what I look like. I don't look like what the fuck I've been through. Excuse my language. I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. I'm glad when I go to the doctor, they look at my chart and look at me and start looking around like, where's the lady that belongs to this chart? Okay, because they're expecting a disease ridden, broken down piece of person to walk in there. And I walk in. It does not compute to them. So my thing is that when you get wisdom, wisdom can lead you from back from death. How about that one? How about that
It's,
one?
I will say it's like drinking from that internal fountain of youth. Honestly, it's like that because it reminds me of you were like Sharente, you completely lost me. But it reminds me about back in the day, there was a show called on Cartoon Network called Codename Kids Next Door, and there was an episode where the adults were trying to always drink from the fountain of youth. And my thing is that the only here you go, things like this pop up in my head, guys. It just is what it is. I have a creative imagination. Um, but my thing is that when you have wisdom and you decide to lead your life with wisdom and make decisions and walk with it and taste with wisdom and smell with wisdom and love and mercy and grace, then you will start living the life of staying in constant
I got
joy,
it.
peace, and hope. And if you should go
All right, love you.
down
Bye.
into the other states that I would consider hell kind of thing, which is anger, shame, desire, being upset, fear, different things like that, then I will say this. Here, that just threw me off a little bit, Mom, because I want to say bye too at the exact same time. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. I'll gain it
I
back.
know.
It'll be
She
fine.
gone.
No, it's fine. Sorry guys, it's naturally programming. Even if my sister can't hear me, it's to say bye and say I love you. So doesn't matter what is happening. I'll just stop, and that will just be my natural reaction. But what I was saying is, you always get back to that internal fountain of youth because the thing is that when you hold on to the things that will keep you in the hell, you get dragged into a place that you no longer want to, go down for because there's really nothing else here. There's nothing else after death in a sense of you're no longer living this earthly presence and this earthly avatar kind of thing. You get to your wits end and you have a choice to say, hey, I'm going to listen to the wisdom that's within me trying to fight for me and let me know what's up. Or, hey, I'm going to listen to the world of what they gave me in regards to them writing me off to die or them saying, well, your daughter's a very sick little girl. We don't know how long she's going to be and stuff
These
like
are
that.
actually what she's saying. Are actually things that were said to me. They sent me home to die, and they told me she was gonna die because she was hospitalized over 14, 15 times between the age of 14 and 18, with a severe skin disorder that would cause her to get infections that had to be, and get have so many surgeries. And it was like the worm story I talked about earlier. I was a worm crawling out to get her. I was sick and she was sick. I checked myself out the hospital to go to the hospital with her. So it was one of those stories. But that was one of our journeys using wisdom. And because at the time I was not able, I was so close to death's door. I could not read or write. I could not walk. I was crawling. I had to crawl to the bathroom. My teeth were falling out, my hair. I mean, it was a very, very sad sight to see. The rumor was that I was on crack and meth at the same time, so I lost so much weight. And I looked like I had cancer. Okay, and that was the rumors that was going around, and I was like, "What? They told me you was dying, you was dead." Because and I'm thinking, no, I have a sickness, and we don't know what it is, but no, I'm not on drugs, but I don't know what's happening to my body, you know. But because she could still read and she could still write, I had her, my wisdom, the wisdom inside of me told me to have her research what I needed because I couldn't research it for myself. So I had her research and develop everything on a PowerPoint presentation for me so that I can look at and try and draw the correlations between what we had that will correlate with her disease and my disease and all the diseases everybody in my family had died from because everybody had died premature deaths. We talking at 38 and 42 and 56 and real young ages. So everybody had pieces of these. I had 48 diseases, and everybody who was dying at least had one or two of what they had, or more of what they had, so it was having her, how you having the wisdom to have her do the research for me and put it on a PowerPoint where I could see it. I had her take all fiancés that I had. And I had 8 fiancés and one husband, 8 fiancés. Had to put all them on the chart to see what was the commonalities between all of that stuff that I might have been carrying with me, because I needed to find out what was causing me to die. Okay, and I knew if I could find out what was causing me to die, I can figure out what was causing her to die. So wisdom is what saved us from death. Wisdom is what keeps my inner light bright, my outer body young. Okay, now I can do things that I couldn't do even when I was in my 20s. Okay, so, and I know that it's because the food when I go to get ready to eat anything, God, what do I need to eat right now? What should I eat? And I have a hodgepodge of everything: fresh fruits, vegetables, meats, cheeses, everything is in there. Okay, even stuff that they say is not good for you. So some sodas are in there, and because every now and then I may want a soda. And what should I have today? Today was a tea day, hot tea and cold tea, and water. So my
Ooh,
thing
she's spilling all the tea.
but the whole thing is that I use my wisdom to tell me what does my body need today. And when I chose the hot cup of tea this morning instead of making me breakfast, I said, okay, I said, just have a cup of tea. So I made the hot cup of tea and I sat on the bed. When I sat down, my stomach started cramping like it was crazy, man. And because I've been going through this gluten infection. And I had the tea right there, was able to sip it and was able to calm it right away. But had I went in there and said, "Oh, tea ain't gonna be enough. I gotta make me some breakfast," I could have been in pain for a whole lot longer. Okay, but so I follow wisdom even in the smallest things. What should I wear today? How should I smile at the people with my clothes? That's what somebody told me I did. They said, when you come out the house, you be smiling at us with your clothes. You wearing a mask, but you smiling." And I'm thinking, no, I'm just dressing how I feel. If I feel bright and cheerful, I wear a whole lot of bright colors and yellows and greens and highlighter colors and oranges and you know so or if I feel sparkly and shiny, I'll wear something that people say you only wear on a special occasion. To me, the special occasion is today. I bought it. Okay, or something that's glittery, a bunch of rhinestones and whatnot. So my thing is, I consult wisdom every day, every moment of the day, even right now, being back on the app, because I talk to my dog, I play with my dog, and let her calm down. And then I was able to come back. you know. So, and I had to use wisdom because she was not going to let me be, you
Nope,
know.
she wants some of that goodness. And we're going to continue with verse 23 and 24. If you want to go to 25, you sure can. Just let me know.
Okay. Then you will walk on your way of life securely, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Do not be afraid of sudden fear, nor the storm of the wicked when it comes, since you will be blameless. For the Lord will be your confidence, firm and strong, and will keep your foot from being caught in a trap. Do not withhold good to those whom good is due. It is right to its rightful recipients when it is in your power to do it. Do not say to your neighbor, "Go and come back. I will give it to you tomorrow." when you have it with you. Do not devise evil against your neighbor who lives securely beside you. Okay. So I read a lot of it so that we can get through it.
Okay, so 29. Okay, I have to figure out where we started though. 1 second. We're at 23.
Yes.
Okay, they give you living hope to guide you, and not one of life's tests will cause you to stumble. You will sleep like a baby, safe and sound. Your rest will be sweet and secure. You will not be subject to terror, for it will not terrify you, nor will the disrespectful be able to push you aside, because God is your confidence in times of crisis, keeping your heart at rest in every situation. Why would you withhold a payment on your debt when you have the ability to pay? Just do it. When your friend comes to ask you for a favor, why would you say perhaps tomorrow when you have the money right there in your pocket? Help him today. Why would you hold a grudge in your heart toward your neighbor who lives right next door? And why would you quarrel with those who have done nothing wrong to you? Is that a chip on your shoulder?
Ooh, okay. I want to start. I'm not going to start way back there because most of this is self-explanatory. Because it talks about the blessings of wisdom. Okay, and but when it started talking about do not withhold good from those who is due, you know, that's like, you know, you paying your debts, and if you had the power to do it, somebody asked you for something and you got it, give it to them, you know. And you know, everybody always thought I was strange when I would do stuff like that and give people stuff off my back, or give people whatever. But if I had it, I'm gonna give it to them. And um my thing is, because God gives me the abundance, and out of the abundance I give, so I'm not losing anything